presentation.
Thank you, sir.
You're familiar with the Renewable Act that has been passed for renewable energy, which includes, alternative renewable solar power, biogas, etc. Do you consider that as a threat or an opportunity for Meralco?
Sir, renewable energy can be an opportunity for Meralco. Though it is not utilizing these opportunities as of the moment, we believe that in the future, when Meralco has a more stable cash flow and has already established its generation expansion, res expansion, it can also pursue other opportunities like what you said, sir, the renewable energy. I hope we answered your question, sir.
In addition to that, due to the forecasted energy crisis in 2015, the solar energy and the renewable energy thing or projects is definitely a good opportunity for Meralco, given that there is a forecasted limited supply of energy in the future years and a higher rate for Meralco, given that just in the recent month that Meralco has a temporary restraining order by the Supreme Court where it has been blocked from applying the additional rate to Meralco. So more or less it will be a good opportunity for the company.
Can you explain how generation costs or the cost of power purchases affect the profitability of Meralco?
Generation cost is a pass-through cost, so it is reflected in the revenue as well as the cost. But since for the moment, because of the TRO, and it won't be able to recover the generation cost that it has purchased, then in that case the generation cost would decrease. That increase in generation cost would decrease Meralco's bottom line figures. Thank you, sir.
In addition to what my colleague said, we believe that as part of pass-through costs, if generation costs would be lower, then there would be more power demand. So if there is lower generation costs, lower pass-through costs, then there will be lower charge to customers. Then the customers would use or would consume more energy, and this would increase the volume. That would increase the distribution revenue Meralco could realize. I hope we answered your question, sir.
Just another question. Can you share with us your thoughts on, the current controversies about power rates that have been happening at the Supreme Court or in Congress or Senate?
As one of the consumers who would be greatly affected by the TRO, of course, we are against the 4.15 or a rather range hike, but given the issue that it is said that Meralco is in collusion with other power industry companies, we think that Meralco should just absorb the 4.13 or that range rate, because this would definitely aggravate the consumers. Thank you, sir.
Moreover, we believe that it will be a major blow for Meralco, because it can increase two major risks of Meralco. The first one is reputational risk, and the second one is regulatory risk. As what we mentioned before, the regulatory risk is due to the possible decisions of the government that can alter the price model of Meralco and can decrease the company's efficiency in bill collection.
You discussed your valuation model quite extensively, and you focused on the discounted cash flow model. what are the advantages and disadvantages of using that model? And you didn't talk about other valuation models. Could you share whether you did some analysis using different valuation approaches and why you did not decide to use it?
We have already forecasted Meralco's cash flows, and we believe that given our projection of the power generation in the long run, we believe that FCFF would just the free cash flow to the firm would result to a more accurate valuation. Though using other valuation methods like multiple analysis are ideal, we believe that our valuation is already sufficient since it would capture the long run plans of Meralco.
You did not consider relative valuation
No,
in your
no,
analysis?
1% upside, not very exciting. Why did you just recommend to sell? You're fully valued at this point.
Sir, because as of the moment, Meralco is definitely a good company, that's no doubt. But as of the moment, it is just not a timely investment. It means that in the future, it would be more profitable in the future. But as of the moment, it is not. So we simply recommend a hold.
A hold would suggest you're waiting for something that might change their fate altogether. But really, if you're looking at free cash flow valuation, you're looking at the out years, you're pricing in the future with all the information you have today. What is it that you're waiting for that might, why you didn't recommend the sell? I mean, I would sell it if I believed in your analysis.
Sir, we mainly focus on two drivers that could boost Meralco's long-term profitability, which are RES and power generation. RES has already been implemented as of 2014, and this would result to an increase in earnings as well as the power generation, which would probably start by 2017 on the construction of QPP2. Both of these drivers would result to a boost in Meralco's earnings, so that's what we're waiting for. So our valuation is a whole. Thank you, sir.
Your growth, GDP growth assumption is around 5.5%, I think, right?
Yes, sir.
So, which could be a conservative view of the economy is currently growing at 7%, and some say, it can even go higher. I guess my question is, what would be the sensitivity of your valuation to a higher economic growth rate, let's say 1 or 2%? Given with the efforts of the government to increase infrastructure spending, etc., shouldn't that lead you to consider upgrading your forecast of Meralco's growth and profitability?
Sir, we didn't expect that much change in the profitability on Meralco, given that GDP is soaring high right now, and we expect it to be almost stable at this point of time.
What would be the sensitivity then of, say, 1% growth in the economy to Meralco's earnings?
We expect it to be stable, sir. It will be not that sensitive.
In addition to the answer of my colleague, an increase in the economy of the Philippines would probably also help increase the profitability of Meralco because an increase in GDP is a cause of an increase in the different sectors which are Meralco's consumers. So their increase in consumption of electricity probably would also increase Meralco's earnings. So it would be a positive effect on Meralco, the increase, the 1 or 2% increase in the economy. Thank you, sir.
A lot of the valuation, I assume, is premised on the fact that the tariff you're assuming is 1 peso and 25 centavos.
Yes, sir.
Have you considered the fact?
Excuse me, thanks.
Thank you, sir.